What if accepting someone as they are is actually the fastest way to help them grow? Sounds backwards, right? In this video, we'll discuss the power behind this perspective and how it benefits individuals, relationships, and systems. So, continuing our study, beautiful attitude number 4 also comes from a powerful principle that's used in psychology, education, leadership, coaching, and because it helps to promote healthy relationships. And when applied as a perspective, it does the exact same thing. Accept the person, encourage changes in attitude and behavior. Now, this perspective isn't about lowering standards or ignoring problems. It's about balancing human dignity with growth and accountability, and really understanding how humans change, learn, and grow. Let's break it down. Accepting the person means recognizing their worth, dignity, and humanity as they are right now. This creates a psychological safety. And when people feel accepted as they are, they're less defensive and more willing to be open and trusting. Acceptance lowers shame and fear. And when there's less threat, people feel more open for self-reflection. People rarely change and they never grow when they feel attacked. They change when they feel comfortable enough and safe enough to look at themselves. So acceptance is the first step. Then we can encourage change and support growth by setting boundaries, communicating. I'm not okay with being spoken to that way. Can we discuss this? I've learned to take a breath and really think about what's in everyone's best interest, and then giving feedback that's specific to that intent. For example, we both want a long-lasting, healthy relationship. How can we make that happen? That shifts the perspective from emotional response to healthy communication. Both parts matter. Without acceptance, people shut down. Without encouragement, they stagnate. This perspective allows us to separate identity from behavior. We can draw a critical line between who someone is and what someone does. And that distinction prevents us from labeling or name calling. You're so lazy or irresponsible or just toxic, which can lead to internalized shame and fixed or unconstructive mindsets about self-identity and self-worth. Instead of, you're so irresponsible, we can say, this behavior isn't working. How can we change it? That shifts shame and replaces it with responsibility. So behavior becomes something that's adjustable rather than something that assigns self-worth. When we feel judged or unaccepted, our brain goes into defense mode. I've learned that when I'm in defense mode is when I would start to justify, deny, or resist having a conversation. When change is approached with what's wrong with you, people resist. But when it's framed as growth and improvement, people engage. Hi. Acceptance protects self-worth, and encouragement gives direction. Together, they create internal motivation, the kind that really lasts. Now, this is important and the tricky part. Accepting people doesn't mean excusing behavior, ignoring, consequences, or avoiding difficult conversations. You can challenge someone without making them feel rejected. I've learned that people feel respected even when corrected. It's all about the approach. When the message is, I'm on your side and I want what's best for you, Conflict becomes collaborative, not adversarial, and trust deepens over time. I've learned to say, I accept and love you, but I don't love the way you're talking to me or the way you're treating me. That balance is what makes this perspective so powerful. This perspective also encourages self-reflection and accountability. When applied inward, this perspective or this mindset sounds like, I accept myself and I take responsibility for changing what's not working. That combination is key for emotional maturity. Acceptance without change equals stagnation. Change without acceptance equals burnout. Together, they create sustainable growth. I've learned that lasting change doesn't come from shame or pressure. It comes from dignity, clarity, and support. My journey has taught me that the only thing I can control in this crazy world is myself, my words, my actions, what I do. So if I don't like the outcome, the only thing I have control over is my delivery. So I want to make sure my delivery is with intent and purposeful, with what's in everybody's best interest in mind. Because I've learned when people feel respected, they're more open. And when we're encouraged, we grow. Accepting the person preserves dignity. Encouraging change promotes development. Holding both creates real transformation. Thank you so much for spending time with me and watching this to the end. I would love to hear from you. And I just look so forward to seeing and being here with you guys each week.